Hi, I'm Merryl and this is my mystery school. Today I wanted to look at tarot cards and health readings. Don't be afraid to use your tarot cards for health readings because although we're not here to diagnose, and unless you're a doctor, you can't give doctor's advice, but the cards can really show how the story unravels, how their health might be progressing, and also what avenues might be available. The cards can also help decide who might be the best healthcare professional to go to if you've got a health problem. The major arcana tells you the story around the health issue. So, for instance, if you get Tower, it's a health crisis. If you get High Priestess, it's a mystery illness and one that you might not find the answer to. The Star card is like the number one health card. It means health and recovery. And if it comes with, say, the Hermit or the Hierophant, it might mean a health retreat. Oh yeah, and of course, if you get the Death card, I don't think in thousands of readings I've ever used the Death card to say there's an actual death. The Death card can mean the end of the illness or a transformation, the end of that issue coming up. It can mean you overcome the odds and recover. So the Death card is more about the cards around it, saying that you're up for a change. The Minor card can give you the detail around the health problem. So this is the way I use it, and you develop your own system from your own experience or from other readers. But for me, if Wands come up, it's around the nervous system, around heat and inflammation, and like in this card, the Ten of Wands, that to me is burnout, anxiety, where your nervous system is fried. The Cups I use for anything that's holding fluid or an organ that holds things, like the bladder, sinuses, the lungs, especially if it's got an air card, a sword card near it, then we know it's about breath and breathing. And anything where there's fluid retention, swellings, or even the stomach. Stomach is about nourishment too. So for instance, this card, the Nine of Cups, I see that as the large intestine. So I'm looking at digestive issues with this one and how the fluid and the water is absorbed, hydration, things like that. Swords are the element of air, and so swords rule anything to do with the mind, with the speed of things, and where there's breaks, so accidents, things like that. Air is also the element that is about speech, so anything to do with speaking, and anything that's piercing, like a piercing pain, a severing. So one of the main health cards that you can use is the Four of Swords, and this indicates an illness or a pulling back where you need to step out and maybe recover or convalesce. I also use swords to indicate the speed of the illness. So something like the Knight of Swords says the illness or the problem, the health problem, is acute and it's fast. I use Pentacles, the earth element, to signify anything that's harder and more physical in the body. So teeth, bones, physical structure, diet, and anything like growths or tumours. Because the pentacles are earth, you know that they're fertile, they multiply. Because earth is the slowest moving element, I'd also look at pentacles giving you an indication of any blockages, and even scanning through the body, doing a reading where you're scanning through the body to see what might be blocked. And you can see with the blockages, the Four of Pentacles is called the Constipation card. And you can see he's all tied up and he's not going to let go of anything. I use the Page of Pentacles for natural health methods, and you can see this is like supplements or vitamins. Sometimes it's about taking a pill. Also, the Page of Pentacles is the deliverer of official news. So with this one, it can mean test results coming through. And I'd also use the Three of Pentacles for things like referrals and test results. Let's look at some card combos now. If you get the Star, it's an indication of health. And if you get the Star with the Chariot and the Sun, it looks like health recovery. So I'd be reading this as a good sign. If you got a combination like the Eight of Cups with the Moon, and even with the Devil or the Seven of Cups, I would be looking at these as mental health issues. More depression than anxiety. For anxiety, we've got the Nine of Swords. Perfectly shows it. It's also a card for insomnia and sleep problems. And I think if you've got Nine of Swords and the Tower, you'd be looking at something like a panic attack. Especially if you had one of the sword cards, like a Knight of Swords, really accelerating this mental torment. The Seven of Cups is my COVID card because it's got the spike proteins poking out at the top there, and the fact that it's this invisible cloud. If I got the Seven of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, I'll be looking at overindulgence leading to constipation. Judgment card there also would look like paying the price for something you've overindulged in. Seven of Cups and the Devil, I'll be looking at addictions. And the cards around would show what form that might take. Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles, that looks like heart restriction or a stroke. In health readings, the Three of Swords would indicate heart or chest pains. But I also call this one my PMS card because it's kind of cartoony, and the rain clouds falling down like that, the broken heart, the drama, that emotional roller coaster that happens with PMS. The Eight of Pentacles being the work card with Tower and Ten of Wands, I'd say is overwork and burnout. The Ace of Swords with one of these three guys, the Hermit, the Magician or the Hierophant, to me I'd be reading as surgery. Again, it's got to be supported by other cards around it and relevant to your question. I use the Temperance card a lot in my health readings, and to me, this is the flow that happens with hormones, fluid imbalances, and the endocrine and lymph system. Because it's about balance, I'd be checking to see if this was the thyroid or the kidneys. The Temperance card would also come up with alcohol issues, and if you've got the Three of Cups and the Devil there, I'd be saying there's overindulgence or even alcohol dependency or addiction. Temperance with the Two of Pentacles leads me into that idea of balance around your hydration, so kidney and thyroid. Temperance and Wands, I'd be looking at inflammation. And with the Nine of Wands, that's the immune system to me. The Eight of Wands, I'd be looking at the connections, nervous system issues, connective tissue. With the Hermit, this could mean something like Alzheimer's. Temperance and the Empress and or the Five of Cups, I'd be looking at menstrual issues. And you can see here, there's the spilt blood. And the Empress, of course, representing the physical feminine force, fertility and creativity. I'd also be looking at Empress with any of the aces, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles has come up as well, with pregnancy and conceiving. A chronic illness might have the Moon and or the Strength card with it. And a fast-moving or acute illness might have the Knight of Swords, the Sun, and or the Fool. These ones representing good health and moving on from illness. There's heaps more combos and variations and tips in individual cards. This one has come up before for cocaine addiction. This one for learning difficulties. But we'll try to put it all together now and do a reading and see how that story unravels. So I'm just going to ask a general health reading, and we'll only do a 5-card spread. Though one way that I've done health readings that really works is using 7 cards to represent the 7 chakras and the health going on, using them as your guide. There's actually a video on that one. But here we go, a general health reading. First card, 6 of Wands. Two of Swords, a health indicator, the Four of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. So as a general health reading, we've got victory and reward in the middle. The number 6 means that you've moved through a difficult phase and now you've got more mobility. Underneath was having a problem looking at it. And I feel with this one maybe being sent in the wrong direction, your mind being split about what to do and how to tackle it, hoping it would go away. Just before this victory and success, we've got a period of illness. We know there's something that's cleared up with this illness because it's gone from no mobility to mobility. But unfortunately, this line moves to the Five of Pentacles, which is also an illness card. Although there's mobility, there's still some level of recovery that will need to happen. I might ask a question about this illness here. So I'll just get a clarifier. What kind of illness or convalescence were we looking at? Well, the Lovers is the card of two things coming together equally. And there's something about these two things coming together because down here we've got the two and they don't want to come together. So this can also be a split. And I have used this one for broken bones before. So to me, this one is about, the illness is about something splitting and needing to come back together. And the positions that take us into the future, they're both pentacles. And that can indicate that this split is physical or a bone or a tooth. The outcome being the Queen of Pentacles is a good sign here because this physical problem is now getting the nurturing and the support that it needs. The Queen of Pentacles would indicate that the rest and reflection that goes on in this card has now reached a point where the health is restored. Even though we know we have to spend a bit of time feeling sorry for ourselves. And if this is about mobility and a physical problem, maybe even spending time on crutches. I also think in this reading, because the Queen of Pentacles is looking down over here at this, that whatever was split is on its way to being mended. Now remember, you can do health readings for your car or your pets. And if you want to see how I do that health reading using the chakras, I'll put a link to that at the end of this video. So I hope that's given you some ideas about using the tarot cards to look at health issues. I'm Merryl and this is my mystery school. If you'd like to learn tarot, check out my online course through my website, www.merrylkey.com. Support my channel with a like, follow, share and subscribe.